Mike McElroy here with Timeless Fence System. Today we're going to talk about reels and how important they are, especially if you are planning on a rotational grazing system. And actually in a grazing system such as that, a reel is absolutely a must. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, it doesn't matter what kind of a reel that you use. You can even go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you can buy one of those orange reels that they wind up electrical cords with. I have used them for 15 years and now I have switched to the mini reel that I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But it doesn't matter. These are some that we carry here at Timeless Fence. And I'll start over here with our geared reel. This is a 3-to-1 geared reel made by Speedrite. And then we have the Econo reel made by Speedrite. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. And then we have a small mini reel. So we're going to look at the difference and how do you decide which one that you need for your operation. Back here on the geared reel, I want to show just a couple features about it. What's nice about this one is that the geared part of it, when you take this handle and you rotate it one time, the reel will wind 3 times. So if you're interested in reeling your wire or your tape or poly braid back in really quick, or if you have a way to ride across the field in a four-wheeler or a side-by-side and can reel something up real quick, this is a good way of doing it, and it's the only one that'll work like that. Another nice feature on this reel is there is a little clip right here that will hold your brake up. So as you are letting wire out, this brake is not going to fall down and catch and then jerk this reel either out of your hand or off of your side-by-side. So that little clip is really handy. The other reels, well, the next one here doesn't have that, and I'm going to speak about that in just a minute. I will say that both of these reels will carry the same amount of tape, wire, and poly braid. So this one here will handle 660 foot of the poly tape, 1,650 of the poly wire, and 1,250 of the poly braid. So both of these will handle the same amount. One thing I do want to note is that if you put the 1,650 feet of poly wire on here, this reel is going to be full up here to the rim. You don't want to do that. You want to leave a lip down here. I would suggest somewhere around, about a ½ an inch. Because what happens is if you get it too full, one thing, it's going to get close to your hand as you're reeling this up. And if it happens to be, maybe you've got it hot at the other end and you're taking the poly wire or the poly braid off, you could get your hand in that wire. The other thing, it could backlash and it just makes a big mess, where your wire can fall off the side and end up around your crank and your handle here. And there's ways to fix that, but the best way is just go ahead and leave a lip inside here. On the Econo reel, basically the same thing, except it's a 1-to-1 ratio like I said, but here's one thing that is very critical. On the brake, there is not a latch or a clip here to hold this down. So you have to be very careful when you are unwinding your wire off of this reel. And you'll have to hold it like this as you're going across the field, and it's going to unwind. If you turn it around, see what's going to happen? That brake is going to fall. So unless you held it like this, you would be all right. But if you happen to, just let it come in a little bit, it's going to catch right there and it's going to jerk it out of your hand, or it's going to jerk it off of the vehicle that you're using. And you can easily tear it up. So that's just one thing you have to be very, very careful about. The mini reel is You can put about half the amount of your tape and wire and poly braid on it. One thing that's real nice about it, it's lightweight. It rotates very, very easily. It does have its own brake mechanism on it. So you just run this around and it locks in. And then to unlock it, you just bring this around and it has a little catch right there. And now it just freely will unroll, or you can go ahead and wind your wire up. There's a difference in price of the three. This one here sells for $15. The Econo reel sells for $37, and the Speedrite sells for $78. Now we also do carry the Terragate, and it sells for $70. It's basically very similar to the Speedrite, just a little bit different in the mechanism around the reel here. So, you know, all of them are great. They all have their own function, their own purpose. You know, if you've got a field that you need to run 1,000 feet of poly wire, you're not going to want to have to put 2 of these up if you can use, you know, 1 of these or 1 of these. So this is good for short distances. I'm going to say 500 feet or less. If you're going to divide a field, this would be a great choice right here. If it's going to be over 500 feet, then either one of these would be a great choice also. This one here, I will say, is heavy. Just want to point that out just for a simple fact. You know, it may be something that you don't want to have to do every day. You may want to leave it up for a few days. But, you know, if you want to manhandle it, that's fine. But when you get all of the poly wire, poly braid on there, then it puts several pounds, and it can be a little bit tough on your arm. So those are a few of the different reels that you can use in your grazing system. It's a must in a rotational grazing system. Any kind of reel you come up with would be fine. So if you have any questions or need any assistance in your next project, please give us a call at 800-788-4709.